Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. So today we're bringing you a deck that we played on stream the other night, which was a deck redeem from a player called Puyshpii. If you guys don't know who Puyshpii is, he was actually the very first America's seasonal champion. And he was hanging out on a stream and did a deck redeem of this Akshan Renekton deck that's kind of playing for like this big Overwhelm value using Berry Armory. So if you don't know what Berry Armory does, it's a 1-mana landmark that is countdown 2. You create a Treasure of the Sands in hand. Treasure of the Sands is a 3-mana equipment that gives +4/+4. And I cannot understate how big this stats is. Because there's 2 good units, actually, I would say there's 3 good targets that we have in this deck. You could play it on Akshan. We can get some crazy high rolls where you play Armory on 1, Akshan on turn 2, and then you can play the Treasure of the Sands on the Akshan on turn 3 and have a sit action. Other targets are going to be Renekton and Runeterra. And these are really our main targets, right? By putting the Renekton, he becomes an 8/8, which means that if you challenge something, right away you level up Renekton in one shot. And on the Runeterra, she becomes a 10/7, which means that she gets to survive a lot longer, has Spell Shield, has Overwhelm, and it just becomes huge. That's really the core game plan of this deck. You're really just relying on buffing up your Overwhelms and just pushing up damage with Overwhelm. At the end of the day, this is like an Overwhelm deck. The rest of the deck is kind of built around supporting that game plan, right? So Double Exhaust is there to allow your Renekton to get buffed up and be able to pull some of the opponent's units. Forsaken Bakai there lets us predict, have early blockers, lets us get our Overwhelm. You usually always want to be able to predict into Renekton or Runeterra if you can. Shapestone, just a lot of value. We are able to trigger it with the Berry and Akshan, and the Rock Hoppers as well for vulnerable. We do play one single combat as a get out of jail card, as a way to also level up Renekton in a pinch. One Absorber, just in case that we don't get our Renekton and our Runeterra, but we have a leveled up Akshan, then we can potentially just remove Absorber instead. Triple Cataclysm is the other part of this deck that really makes the most sense, and it's why we're in Demacia, right? So we're playing Shurima Demacia. Because Triple Cataclysm lets us challenge with Renekton, right, into the opponent's board and be able to buff him up and just push lethal damage. It's cheaper than a rally while still doing the same thing you want to do with a rally in this deck. Now, even though we do play Triple Cataclysm, we are still playing one Golden Aegis because the rally could also be good in certain situations. One Desert Duel just keeps us from losing to too much pressure and lets us potentially level up Renekton or Akshan in a pinch. Double Merciless Hunter, just value, right? Get for Renekton, that's a whole quote. We are trying out 2 Royal Decrees, and one of the reasons for that is that I kept finding that a lot of times, if you don't get the Berry Armory and the Treasure of the Sands and the Renekton, then Renekton felt like he was getting too vulnerable, right? Like he would go too low in health. So by having the Royal Decree, you're able to give Renekton +2/+2 and be able to keep him in a healthy state to actually be able to win the game. Vagabond, you're sending justice with Akshan. Triple Battle Negation, because the only way that we lose in this deck is to like Vengeances and stuff like that. So Renekton is still vulnerable to a Vengeance since he doesn't have Spell Shield. So the Battle Negation lets us survive against that. And then 2 Concerted Strike just to kill the big units that the opponent might have, like a Viego, etc. While also potentially being able to level up Renekton and advancing our Akshan landmark. And then obviously finally Runeterra, which is one of the MVPs of this deck, really. Runeterra and Renekton. Those are your 2 MVPs. Runeterra especially, because she has Spell Shield, if you put a Treasure of the Sands on her, she just takes over the game. Really fun deck. When we played it on stream the other night, we went on like a crazy 9-0 win streak. And today, we didn't do as hot during the video, but we still had a lot of really nice wins. And I think a lot of people are still not prepared to deal with this deck and the amount of power that it can push. So, hope you enjoy the games coming up soon. And if you like our content, please make sure to subscribe to us and like the video below. It always helps us out a lot. I'll see you at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Akshan Sivir. Berry Armory makes them really sad. Yeah, I think Berry Armory is going to make them really sad. What if we just try to hard mulligan for Akshan? But keeping the Forsaken Bakai is probably better odds, right, of drawing Akshan than just top decking it. Yeah, I think keeping the Forsaken Bakai probably increases our odds of drawing Akshan. I'm gonna play it. No, actually, we should go for the Forsaken Bakai first, because now, even if we play the Forsaken Bakai, even if we play the Forsaken Bakai, we're never really able to to play the equipment right away. In which case, let's just go for Rune Runner and just start setting up stuff that way. No need to do anything for that action. Let's just do the Rock Hopper, then we'll do Renekton. Actually, I don't even want to do the Rock Hopper. I just want to play Renekton next turn. And put the equipment on him. Okay. So the problem is that Concerted Strike, I guess, is a big deal. But now that the opponent did like this, Concerted doesn't even do it. Because we can just block. Okay, so Shapestone. Shapestone into second action. That's also that's still 4. So it gets beat by our own Shapestone. We called it. Yeah, we called it. So now the opponent needs to have a buff here. A Sharp Side or another Shapestone. Okay, we bait out double Shapestone. We bait out the double Shapestone. So we bait out the double Shapestone. And then we can still have the Merciless Hunter. Sorry, the Rune Runner be buffed up, right? So it had to be exactly the second action into the and double Shapestone, which I'm completely fine taking that out of the way for them. So I actually think that instead of playing the Merciless Hunter, we're playing Rock Hopper first. This makes them very awkward on developing Sivir this turn. So we can go Rock Hopper. We can actually go action and Treasure of the Sands as well. Oh wow, okay, so yeah, we just get this for free now. So the opponent just gave us a free Bruiser. We know that the opponent already committed double Shapestone, so sure. If they had the third Shapestone, be my guess. Yeah, thank you for the Bruiser. I appreciate it. I'll take that. It sucks not putting this in the Overwhelm, but I think this is also just as good of a target. Like, really just as good of a target. How close is she to leveling up? Should be very close, right? Oh no, she's at 13. That's not that bad. Opponent's gonna have the access to the last Shapestone. I think we just take it. I think we just take it. And we settle for like a big wide attack next turn. Opponent could have access to the rally here, which could be a problem. Let's go Rock Hopper first. Make them develop a little bit awkward. Ideally, opponent probably wants to play like Concerted Strike or something like that. So ideally, I want to kill the Sivir with the Rune Runner. We could also just play the Rune Runner afterwards. So opponent has to have access to Concerted Strike or some form of strike. So if that's the case, we're actually if we want to kill this, I think it has to be the Rune Runner. I think it has to be the Rune Runner. Oh wow, this is actually interesting. So if we play Rune Runner, because I want to be able to kill that Sivir, but we also need to play around Sharp Side. So do I just have to do the Royal Decree instead, just to play around the Sharp Side? What if we do? What if we just go like this? I know we're technically wasting the Challenger, but now the opponent could still have Concerted Strike, and we still get the Sivir out of the way, right? So opponent could Concerted Strike the action, but that means that they lose the Sivir. If they Concerted Strike the Merciless Hunter, then we keep the action alive, which is just as good for us. We beat the Sharp Side. We don't beat double Sharp Side though. Oh, add Absolver? But now that means that you don't have Absolver for next turn. But the opponent does get the Warlord's Whore anyways, so... Opponent gets the Warlord's Whore anyways, which means that they're able to give everything vulnerable. Which means that we cannot summon... We cannot summon the Merciless Hunter. Do they go for the draw or do we go for the vulnerable? Oh, they're going for the draw. Huh. Could go for a rally here. No, doesn't have it. Cannot play the Rune Runner, right? Because of the quick attack. This is awkward. I really don't want to lose this Wind Runner. Rider Negation protect me against the rally. 6-9. I think I'm still okay, right? I'm still okay. Yeah, I'm still okay. Wait. Why? Why not pull? Why not pull with a broad win? I'm confused. Why not pull with the broad win? Remember, both these cards are vulnerable, so we can actually get lethal by pulling them. We don't need to actually commit the second Wind Runner. One is gonna go for a Cataclysm here. So if they play Cataclysm, we will have to lose our so we can't play this anymore because opponent easily has access to Cataclysm. So opponent easily has access to Cataclysm. So hear me out. The problem is that the Cataclysm removes the spell shield. Why did we go here? Why did we go here so that we have a blocker for the Cataclysm? So the Cataclysm removes the spell shield, but this gives us a blocker for the Cataclysm. So with this line, we don't lose to the Cataclysm. The problem is that the opponent still has survives with 1 HP until we summon the second Wind Runner. But we have just enough mana to summon the second Wind Runner and have Rider Negation. So unless the opponent has Rally into Rider Negation here, they lose the game. They're not even going for the Cataclysm anymore. Okay, that's game. Woo! We got there. We got there. Took us a while, but we got there, right? That's gonna be 10. Opponent could have... We know that the opponent has a slow speed spell, which is probably Cataclysm. Or it could be fast, right? It doesn't have to be slow speed. That's why they didn't use it last time. They were playing around the Rider Negation. By us playing the Sandstone Charger, it means that they couldn't do the Cataclysm right away, because we always have a blocker. Because remember, Cataclysm still goes through even if the unit has Spell Shield. It just means that the Sivir will have attacked by herself. So even with the Treasure on the Sands on the Wind Runner, we wouldn't have been able to block the Sivir, because the Wind Runner only goes to 7 HP and the Sivir has 7 attack. So yeah, GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Deep. They do have a lot of heals, and they probably play Vengeance, right? So that's the only downside against going against Deep. I really like the Sauce, and I like the Wind Runner. It's a nice Spell Shield unit. And the Vagabond honestly doesn't seem too bad either. I might just keep this whole hand. Because I like the Vagabond to start triggering the Warlord's Palace early. Let's go for the Berry Armory first. We can try to predict into action here, and we can then play the action on turn 2, if anything. Or turn 3, sorry. We don't get the action. We get another Forsaken Bakai. We get another Berry Armory. Royal Decree, we got Sauce. Let's go another Bakai. And see if we can dig for like Rider Negation or something like that, just to keep our Ruin Runner potentially alive. Again, I mean, we'll have the Vagabond to block the Sea Scarab. We can play the Treasure of the Sands on the Vagabond, if anything. Don't need to... I mean, I guess we can just wait. I guess we don't need to rush. We can wait until we have the Ruin Runner on the field to play this. Because I probably don't want to play it on this card. We have that Sauce. Opponent loses a Battle Feast, which is good in terms of keeping the Spell Shield on the Ruin Runner on the field. The fact that we could transfer the Treasure of the Sand into the Ruin Runner ends up being really, really good. So let's go ahead and do that second Bakai. Okay, this is the Rider Negation. Which I think is actually better. Because I think we just win with the Ruin Runner having Treasure of the Sands, right? That was another Battle Feast that they were putting discarded. Huh. Let's just pass. I don't think I need to do the Exorcius yet. I think we just play Wind Runner into Treasure the Sands and have access to Random Negation. I didn't even realize that the opponent had a trash. Wow. Huh. Wow. Do we let them? Yeah. You know what? If they want to kill this, I think I'm okay with that. I'm gonna give them the option of killing the Wind Runner. We always can play the second one and then play Treasures of the Sands. I still have mana to exhaust as well. But if they don't pull this right now, then we can always obviously kill the trash, because the trash will go down to 4 HP, potentially 3 if the opponent pulls the Vagabond. It's a little bit awkward though. It's a little bit awkward. Giving up this one could be a problem. Because we can always play the second Wind Runner and have access to exhaust and then pull with both Wind Runners. Yeah, they should pull this here. Doesn't pull there. Alright. And gives me all their lifesteal as well. Doesn't pull and gives me all the lifesteal. Don't think that's correct. Bone Skewer gone, that's huge. We know that the opponent... a second Bone Skewer gone. We know that the opponent lost Battle Feast. Opponent does have enough mana to still do... So opponent still has enough mana to still do like a ping into the Vengeance. So I probably need to keep the mana for the exhaust. I probably do need to keep the mana... need to keep the mana for the Random Negation. So I probably need to keep the mana for the Random Negation. Just because of how much value the opponent gets. If they have like another Battle Feast plus a Vengeance, right? So I think we play it safe. I think we play it safe. We go here, just kill this trash before they level up. Opponent only plays 1 trash, so even if the opponent has like a glimpse, it doesn't matter. The trash dies. And if they try to go for like, yeah, and there you go. That's exactly what we kept the mana for Random Negation. Yeah, Bone Skewer into Vengeance. And that should be game. That's the third Bone Skewer, by the way. And that's the first Vengeance. And they still lose the trash. So we were able to predict that. I wish I actually would have played the Forsaken Bakai first. Cataclysm might not be bad. I like the Cataclysm. So we can start presenting lethal. We probably should have played the Bakai first, because I actually don't like the fact that we lost mana there. Nautilus is a problem. So Nautilus is a problem. Because the opponent's gonna go deep next turn. Opponent cannot go deep this turn. How crazy is it to just play to do the Cataclysm? I mean, if we're pushing 7 here, what if we just go like this? Just kill the Sea Scarab. And I know that Wind Runner is gonna die to the Nautilus next turn. My problem here is that I wanted to be able to get the Sandstone Charger. Because this is only 5. I wanted to be able to get the Sandstone Charger. I guess what we can do... Must be nice living off stolen coin. Because if I try to just go for the +1/+1... I think I need to just predict. If I could have gone for the Sandstone Charger, that would have been better. Concerted Strike is pretty good. Concerted Strike is actually pretty good. Because we can do it on the stack to reduce the health on the Nautilus so that the Overwhelm damage goes through for the lethal. So we go like this. Opponent also has to go deep at burst, so they need to have... The first need to play a card that can let them go deep. Yeah, Concerted Strike is good. Because we can just kill this... We can kill this Nautilus. Like, we can play the Concerted Strike on the stack. So we go like this, and this is lethal. And the opponent also loses the Nautilus. So I guess they could have like a well, and that lets them survive for 1 turn. And if they have a second Nautilus in their hand, they have a blocker for the second Wood Runner. No, they don't have it, and we got there. Yeah, I think that we won. We won the game when we were able to run a negation that play, right? We talked about it. That's why we kept the mana and didn't develop the second Wood Runner. Because we knew that the opponent had just enough mana to ping and be able to ping the spell shield and be able to vengeance. So, GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Viego Evelynn. I think we can beat them, but we need to do it fast. We need to do it fast. I think I want to Harmonia for Action or Renekton. We don't get it, but we do get the Berry Armory and the Wound Runner, which are both really good as well. Question is, I think I'm gonna Forsaken Bakai first instead of the Berry Armory, because we don't have a good target for the Treasure of the Sands anyways. I think let's go Renekton. Let's go Renekton. I know that the opponent could have Vengeance with this Renekton, but I think it's still worth it. We can go ahead and just push this to damage. I think the damage is very important. We can play a second Bakai. Ooh, Royal Decree, Action, or Backmark. Because if we pick the Action, we're not playing Action anytime soon. So actually, we're not playing the Action anytime soon. I actually like the Royal Decree better. So I like the Royal Decree better because ideally, we want to pass next turn, save the 3 mana, play Renekton, and play the Treasure of the Sands on the Renekton. Yeah, this is why they didn't develop the Bakai, because of the Soldier. I'm surprised that the opponent waited until now to actually commit them. Because I don't think we get to play Action. Like, I think playing Action this turn is a mistake. So I think we just go like this, play Renekton, and we have a choice. Now, opponent could have the Vengeance here. So if the opponent just passes here, no, they don't pass. They don't pass. The other thing that we can do is that we can just kill that Evelynn right now. So the other thing that we can do by picking the Royal Decree is that we can kill that Evelynn right now. With the only punish being... With the only punish being a Haste Spike, right? Haste Spike becomes the only punish here? Because the Haste Spike can kill the Renekton? Okay, wow. Yeah, we get the Evelynn just like that. We get the Evelynn just like that. We can put the Treasure of the Sands, or we can Concerted Strike next turn. Concerted Strike does kill the Viego, but it still, again, loses to... Oh no, Concerted Strike doesn't kill it, because opponent ends up having... Opponent ends up getting the thing here. So if that's the case... Haste Spike is still a problem. I want to play around the Haste Spike, so I'm going to go like this first. This... Why? Opponent? Did you forget about Renekton leveling up? Did opponent forget about how Renekton works? Okay, so we get a free leveled up in the Renekton. Okay, opponent just forgot about Renekton. Okay, so the scary part here is Vengeance. So for us to play around Vengeance, I think we summon the Wound Runner first. So I think we commit the Wound Runner first. We have the Royal Decree that lets us kill the Viego. So we can kill that Viego with the Royal Decree. Opponent has Vengeance for this, leaves them with 3 mana. We can just do exhaust. I think we can go here. We go here. And now if the opponent kills the Renekton... Okay, so opponent still has just enough mana. Opponent still has just enough mana to be able to kill this Renekton with 6 mana. So my concern here is that if we go for the if we go for the Viego kill, and opponent goes for the Vengeance, on the Renekton, we still lose the Wound Runner when she attacks the Viego. So I actually don't think we do that. I think we actually have. I think we actually have to just let this die to the Vengeance. Just push this damage like this, and keep the Wound Runner alive, and give her the treasure, right? So we bait out the first one here. I guess another thing we can do is that we can attack with both. Yeah, we can just always attack with both, right? If the opponent decides to give us their Viego here, I'm okay with that. The only downside to this is that now the opponent could actually have like a haste spike. So if the opponent has a haste spike, we lose, but it's not a haste spike. It's not a haste spike. But if the opponent does the haste spike, it means that they don't have mana. They actually have enough mana for haste spike and Vengeance. So this play did get punished by both those two cards specifically. Right? Because haste spike buffs up the Viego to 7 health, which means that he can block the Wound Runner. And the Vengeance kills the Renekton. So just like that, we're okay. The problem with Cataclysm here is that we lose to the Glimpse. But if the opponent does the Glimpse on their Evelynn, I think I have to be okay with that. I think I live with that, right? I think we just go Cataclysm. An opponent needs to have exactly Glimpse. Doesn't have it, so that's GG's. Alright. Big Renekton for the win. We get there. We get there. I'm very surprised they didn't have the hate spike the first, like, earlier, right? When they blocked, when we challenged the Evelynn. And then not having the Vengeance as well. They ended up kind of having a break hand, so GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Nightfall, and we're playing against Dyna. Armory? Okay, Buried Armor is good. We probably don't need 2 of it, though. I like the Rock Hopper. I like the Rock Hopper as a fearsome blocker. And just make some of the develop Aqua, right? But we can go Forsaken Bakai here, then Forsaken Bakai again on turn 2, and bury Armory with it. And then if we get the Renekton, how does the opponent beat the big Renekton? How does the opponent beat a big Renekton with Bury Armory? No Renekton, no Renekton. I guess we should just do action then. I guess we should go for action instead. No reason to attack. We don't want to give them the Hallow buff right now. We can play the action right now because even if we play Bury Armory next, like even if we play Bury Armory now, we're not gonna get it back into their next turn. So I think I have to be okay with that. Yeah, let's play this action now. The only problem here is that now the opponent will be able to kill my action, right? So that is a concern, and they'll have the Hallow buff right here to do so. They'll have the Hallow buff here to do so. What we can do is that we can start with the Rock Hopper, making the opponents. Oh, we also have the Royal Decree, but the Royal Decree loses to. The Royal Decree loses to Pell Cascade. Are we ever just passing here? No, I think it's Rock Hopper. I think it's Rock Hopper. The Royal Decree also gives me +2/+2. But I'm probably not gonna use it right away, right? I'd probably. Let's go to Bury Armory right now. Don't think it's correct to not play this. Now, we lose to Pell Cascade, that's why I don't want to attack with the action. Well, that's not true. That's not true. The Royal Decree gives +2/+2, so we have killed it. Oh, man. I thought this only gave Challenger for some reason. This gives +2/+2. So now we're gonna lose. Now we're gonna lose the action for no reason. What we could have done is that we could have also attack and push 5 damage. Yeah, wow. We're gonna lose this action for no reason now. That's unfortunate. Renekton will save me here. Yeah, I think I need. Oh man, I think I just threw. I think I just threw the game. Royal Decree lets us kill Diana, This becomes a 4/4, so we kill the Diana, and we don't have to worry about the Diana killing us here. I guess we have Shapestone to give it an extra health. We at least force the Pale Cascade out of the opponent. No Renekton and no Ruin Runner is a big deal though. But we did make the choice not to go for Ruin Runner on our first predict. So that isn't us. So why did we go like this? They have to have Pale Cascade, right? They're gonna just push 4, 6. That's gonna be 6 damage. They have to have Pale Cascade. There's no way that they're gonna do this and not have Pale Cascade as a backup. They get 3 draw, have Pale Cascade. It could also be Unspeakable Horror, right? There's too many answers that they could have here. They cannot let this action stay alive when we have Buried Armory to threaten it. We're gonna probably have to keep the Royal Decree to be able to kill the elusives. That's also a nice way to eat up the vulnerable from the Rockhopper. I think we have to... Oh, no, yeah. He beats the Pale Cascade. He beats the Shapestone with the Halo buff. So we'll have to let this go. Diana stays on the field. We take a ton of damage because of our misplay last turn. The problem is that the elusives are more dangerous than Diana, because the elusives are just completely wrecking us. So it has to be a race. They get the Unspeakable Horror regardless. It has to be a race, and we don't have Renekton to actually win the race. So we need to top the Ruin Runner or Renekton here. That's why we skip the predict. And we get the Ruin Runner. And now we will need what? Cataclysm? I think I just go for the damage. I'm gonna pretend that the opponent cannot kill us next turn, right? So I'm pretending that the opponent cannot kill us next turn. This is 10 damage. If the opponent just takes this, they have to beat us next turn. They have to literally beat us this turn, right? So Halo buff means that they push 2, 4, 6 with the second flight, 7 with the Halo buff. We have Concerted Strike as well. They're one more wider than us. They're one more wider than us, so that is a problem. So block 2, 4, 6, 10. Halo buff is gonna be 11. We have Concerted Strike. We're gonna have to Concerted Strike the Onlooker to save 4 damage. I think that's fine. I don't want to commit that sauce just yet, because opponent just needs 2 more Nightfall cards to get this to become 7 attack, which could be a problem. They also got to heal up last turn with the Doombeast, which means that we still don't have lethal. We will have to go all in on our buffs next turn. So we want to keep the Shapestone, yeah. Oh wow, okay. So opponent's just gonna go for the kill on the Ruin Runner then. With the Halo buff, they actually get there. With the Halo buff, they actually get there. And we can't afford to Concerted Strike the Diana. We can't afford to Concerted Strike Diana because then we just lose, right? Like, living at 1 is not an option. I mean, opponent just committed a Pale Cascade. So there's so many outs that the opponent has. There's way too many outs that we know that the opponent has 1 more flight in their hand. So they could have another Doombeast. They could have another Unspeakable Horror. They could have the 2-mana Puyshpii Nightfall that also lets them activate the Doombeast again, right? Because technically we could block the Onlooker with the Shapestone in the Vakai and then Concerted Strike the Diana, and we live at 1. We have to do it that way, right? If this girl dies, we always lose the game. Alright, so we're not gonna play around. The opponent doesn't have it. Opponent doesn't have the last... Wait, they don't have another Pale Cascade. They don't have another Doom Beast. They don't have another Unspeakable Horror. Don't have another of the 2-mana draw. Gets another draw right here, so could get it there. Yeah, we're gonna pretend that it's not real. Oh, they top decked it. They top decked the Unspeakable Horror. I think we had to play for our outs, right? We had to play for our outs, and unfortunately, we didn't get there. So, GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Nami, Twisted Fate, Ionia. And I think we have a good chance, to be honest. I think we have a really good chance because we can just, like, go way faster than them. Just get our units really big. The only downside is the homecomings. And I think this deck also plays Concussive Palm, so I don't know if they play Concussive Palm, but homecoming for sure, right? So that's going to be one of the big troublesome parts. Obviously, your opponent's going to try to go for double trouble. We do have Random Negation, which is nice to negate something when we go for like a big lethal attack. But our hand is not amazing. Now, we can play Vagabond into Renekton. Okay, opponent's just going to kill the action. Alright. Action is not how we win this game, by the way. That's why I don't care about losing action. Because the way that we win this game is Renekton. It's never action, it's always Renekton. We have enough mana for Exhaust to pull like a Twisted Fate if the opponent goes for it. No, that's not a Twisted Fate. However, we can go ahead and do... Yeah, I want to go here. I want to go here. Just not put any damage in the Renekton. I guess we could have gone for the Soldier. Actually, it's the same thing, right? Because, sorry, that's my mistake. The Exhaust does -2 on the Soldier. Yeah, the Exhaust does -2 on the Soldier. So, opponent will level up the Nami. We have a way to kill the Nami next turn. And we have Random Negation. The problem here is going to be Shelly, which we can kill with a Concerted Strike, which means that we get to level up our Renekton. Yeah. Really need to beat this Shelly. Now, is that true? Do we have to beat this Shelly right now? Or do we go for the Merciless Hunter? So if we consider strike that Shelly right now, we can also consider strike the Nami instead. So the Shelly is giving +1/+1. Nami's also giving +1 every single time. I think we just go for the Nami. Right? I think we just go for the Nami. Because at most, he can only buff the Nami to 5 health. The problem is that the opponent has 2 spells here and just goes all in on the Nami. That also means they're using up their mana, which makes our attack next turn even better. Definitely should have killed this unit, by the way, last turn. But I forgot about the Exhaust doing -2. And sometimes I play too fast and make small misplays like that, as you all probably used to right now. And that's the thing. I think that's one of the big things that's kind of holding me back from becoming an even better player. That sometimes I'm super consistent. Oh wow, that's actually a huge deal. But that's not enough, right? This only gets it to 7 health, which means that we can actually still kill it. Now what the opponent will do is just attack with these units here. I think we take the 12. I guess it's not true. I guess we don't need to take the 12. Because we're always just blocking the... We're always just pulling the Shelly next turn. Yeah, we don't need to take the 12. We always just pull the Shelly next turn. We have enough mana for Random Negation. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So what if it's Sandstorm Charger? What if it's Sandstorm Charger to force the opponent to... I kind of like it. Force the opponent to block with the Soldier. We go here. Pull this guy. Opponent has to block with the Sandstorm, opponent has to block with the Soldier because it's lethal. If they have a Homecoming, we ride a negation and we win the game. If the opponent doesn't block and tries to go for Homecoming, we win the game. That's why we keep exactly 4 mana, by the way. Stun, okay, well, that's just as good as well. So now you have to have Health Pot. Now you have to have the Tailstones into the Health Pot. Like, why not Phantom Block? Why not Phantom Block when you know I'm playing Shurima and have access to Rite of Negation? I feel like people are getting way too greedy when going against our deck. And a lot of our wins are just because of that. And there we go. That took us to Plat 1, so that's kind of nice. GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Sundisk. So, we do play Overwhelm, which is a big deal against Sundisk. And I want to see if I can get my Renekton or my Ruin Runner. So I'm going to hard Mulligan. Action is also really good. So I'm going to hard Mulligan. The only problem with Action here is that the opponent could still have the Rock Hopper. I think I have to be okay though, right? If the opponent plays Rock Hopper. Whoa, 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 whoa. Since when do they play this card? Marauder? Why? Why? Yeah, I'm going to go Rock Hopper. I'm going to go Action here. We lose the action. I think I have to be fine with that. Because it's gonna I think that action is gonna die regardless. It lets us advance our Warlord's Palace a little bit quicker as well. Got that extra proc there. We get a second action regardless, so we can go ahead and do this. So we get a second action regardless, so we get some nice value there. So we're gonna potentially just level up this action really quickly because we also have the Vagabond. So action is gonna level up at the start of the turn and lets us predict into something. What is the opponent playing? What is the opponent playing? Okay, so I'm still confused. I'm still very confused. Ah. Now, opponent doesn't have any landmarks that are good with Rite of Arcane. I kind of just like I kind of like just dumping the Ruin Runner, by the way. I like dumping the Ruin Runner. What if we just get +1/+1 to everything? Because I feel like our hand is good enough that we might not need the draw. Either that or we summon the Sandstorm Charger. I think our hand is good enough that we might not need the draw. And I think we just put pressure on them. I think I like that. So the Sandstorm Chargers gets blocked by one of their units. This gets blocked by one of their units. We can pull the other one of the Ruin Runner, and we're pushing 3 and another 5. I guess we can go for the Royal Decree to push even more. I think it has to be exhaust. I think it's exhaust instead of Royal Decree. So we can exhaust the Rock Hopper, have the Relic of Power, summon the Sandstorm Charger. Yeah, I think we just put pressure on them. I don't think the opponent can actually survive this pressure. This still threatens a Shapestone, so the opponent has to be careful of how they do this. They sacrifice the unit here, they sacrifice a unit here. We're still pushing 3+5, so it's gonna be 8. They could have, I guess they could have Quicksand, right? They could have Quicksand here to kill the action. Yeah, there you go. That doesn't remove the Overwhelm though, so they kill the action, but we still keep the Vagabond alive, so we're still pushing the same number of damage. It does mean that this is more vulnerable though to Rite of Arcane and other random stuff like that. Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. Opponent has 6 mana next turn. A second Quicksand does let them survive here. And we get a second move runner. Okay, so we get a second move runner regardless, so I think we're fine. I think we're fine, right? With the second Moon Runner, it means that we just win. Yeah. Now what? Now what? Oh, an opponent also taps out of stuff? Wow, wait, opponent just tapped out of everything that they could possibly have here. I think it's just Desert Duel. So it's going to be Desert Duel. That way we have a big open attack next turn. We kill the Seraph regardless. And we still have Cataclysm if we need to. Because I don't want to play Cataclysm right now. Because it means that we lose one of our Wound Runners. So opponent now has to deal with this whole board. So 6, 6, and 3. And if they summon any unit, we can kill it with Cataclysm. And that should be close to game. We could have actually committed the Royal Decree to potentially percent lethal. But the opponent doesn't really have a way to stop this, right? Because Quicksand is only doing -4, which only puts us to 11. So the opponent will need to have double Quicksand. And that's and I mean if they spend double Quicksand there, I think they fall way too far behind anyways. So yeah, we beat them kind of by going aggro. So GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Pirates. Now this matchup should be a little unfavorable towards us. But we do get the Renekton and the Berry Armory right away, which could mean that we can raise them down. I'm gonna grid this out, but I do want to have early blockers. We don't get early blockers, so I think we're in trouble. We might just get raised down faster than we can kill them. Don't think the Berry Armory will be enough to get us there, especially when we get 2 of them like this. Yeah, this might be a little bit unfortunate unless we top deck Akshan here. If we top deck Akshan, maybe we have a chance. Because the Cataclysm also gets countered.
Nice to meet you. I'm Isla.
The Cataclysm also gets countered by Fervor, right? Wow. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Let's go here. We're gonna have to just go here for now and then play Renekton. The Fearsome can actually push some damage. Yeah, so we can actually have the Fearsome push some damage. Then we can have the... Oh, wow. Wait, yeah, of course we get too late. Of course we get action this late. I think it's always Renekton, though. I think it always has to be Renekton and just push the damage against the Mirai right now. This card is annoying because the opponent could have the Eye to block the Merciless Hunter. But I think I need to do it this way. Just set up the Overwhelm damage. This is gonna push, obviously. Yeah, this is gonna push a ton of Overwhelm damage. Yeah, so I'm betting on them having the Eye. I'm betting on them having the Eye Nakaboros. Doesn't do it, so we get to just push 9, which actually means that we potentially can win this. As I say that, opponent gets Misfortune, so they actually can kill Renekton. So they can open attack. We block the Tentacle because we don't want to lose to another Eye. Opponent pulls the Renekton. Opponent pulls the Renekton. We block the Tentacle because we don't want to lose to the Anakaboros. We can try for Shapestone, but if the opponent has Make It Rain, we lose the Renekton regardless. Yeah, so here's my question. It's an additional 2 damage, right? The opponent has Anakaboros. So our only out here is that the opponent literally doesn't have Make It Rain. If they have Make It Rain, we lose Renekton. Doesn't have the Make It Rain, so we can actually do the Treasure of the Sands and keep our Renekton alive, and maybe we win next turn. If the opponent literally has no burn, because we're down to 5. So if the opponent has literally no burn, we might be okay. They have to keep the mana for Fervor. They can never tap out of Fervor. Wait. Isn't that game then? Opponent just gave me the win. I literally just said it. You can't tap out of Fervor. You can't tap out of Fervor. I'm playing Demacia. I'm literally playing Demacia. Like, oh man, if the opponent keeps mana for Fervor, I mean, I guess I still do it. I guess I still always do it, even if the opponent keeps the mana for it. But you can't do that because you can negate the Cataclysm with the Fervor. So GG's. Hey, welcome back, everybody. What do you think about the deck? Like I said, it's really straightforward. You're really just playing your units, playing your big overwhelms, and just pushing the damage, right? You can kind of see how crazy Treasure of the Sands is, It's really one of the best equipment in the whole game, even though it doesn't have any keywords. Just because you can put it on a unit like Runewrunner or Renekton to just buff them up. It's crazy that this card is in Shurima, right? Because again, it synergizes with those Shurima's champions. Also, this art is kind of funky. Wow, that's kind of cool. Didn't even realize that art. The art is really cool. Huh. Anyways, so yeah, so you can see the power of this card there. In terms of mulligan, I always want to keep at least one Berry Armory. It just synergizes so well with Action, Renekton, or Runewrunner. So you're very likely to draw at least one of those 9 units within the next 2 to 3 turns. So that's why I always keep one Berry Armory. I always keep Renekton. I always keep Forsaken Bakai. So, sorry, not Renekton, Action. Although I also keep Renekton as well. So you're keeping Berry Armory, Forsaken Bakai, Action, and Renekton. Those are the 4 cards that I would suggest keeping in your hand. That way you can start enabling really early and start getting to your win condition. It is important to keep one Renekton in my opinion, because this deck has actually really easy way to level up Renekton. So it's the earlier that you're dropping down, the better, and you have enough other support tools to protect them and be able to level him up. So you're going just for those units and the Berry Armory and kind of just taking over the game from there. Aside from that though, again, pretty straightforward. I would recommend watching the Twitch bot from Thursday's night stream. And at the later half of that stream, like I said, we played this deck, although it was a slightly different version. We updated a couple things by adding the Royal Decree. So if you want to see some extra games, just go over to that Twitch channel at Sirturmund on Twitch and be able to look at that bot from the stream on Thursday. If you like the content on YouTube, you can also subscribe to us and like the video. Helps us out a lot. And if you want to get even more of us, you can find us off stream and off YouTube on Twitter and Discord. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.